Shall we start this question? No? How many you have done? 16. Okay, it's till 15. Huh? Then after we need to also do the rest of the type of questions. Okay, so we move towards the error identification and multiple errors. So what do we expect that to be? Expect a variety of topics that we had learned in past. So all those things mixed in this question. Okay. So the direction for the question is in each of the questions below 4 different ways of writing a sentence are indicated. Choose the best way of writing the sentence. Okay. Question number 1 you have done. Right? What could be the answer? Option B. D. Then your is also B. Yes? A. Okay, you. E. D. Any other options? C. Good. So it means how many of you go for the option A? 1. Okay, option B? 2. Option C? You will. D? Means A, C, D comes with the one option. Right. Option B has the majority, isn't it? Okay. Let's see that. Now, if you look into the sentence, in the first sentence A, the strangeness of you change to E. Okay. Okay. So, okay, look into the sentence. What are the errors that you find out in option A that cannot be considered as the answer? Okay. But previous to that also, another error is called as a barrier always takes 2. Right? The strangeness of quantum mechanism raised the barrier 2. It should be 2, right? Not 4. Yes. That is the error you find out in first error in the sentence statement. Barrier for communications, it's wrong. Barrier to communications between not only physicists and non-physicists, but also between. Now, if you look into the parallelism, isn't it? The parallelism error you could find out in this statement. Right? It should be what? If it is written between not only physicists and non-physicists, that itself is wrong. It should be what? Not only between physicists and non-physicists. Why? Because between always comes with and it should refer to the noun and should also refer to noun, isn't it? So, but also between the young physicists of the 1920s and their older colleagues. We find out that the second part is correct, right? But the first part is coming with the error, right? So 2 errors are there. So the correct sentence statement should be what? The strangeness of quantum mechanics raised a barrier to communications not only between physicists and non-physicists, but also between the young physicists of the 1920s and their older colleagues. Isn't it? Now, if you observe option C and D, what are the errors that you find out in option C and D? One is called as the missing of article or barrier to communication. It should be not only barrier to communication. Second, you also find out in option C and D, it's called as a older, right? The comparison is done, right? So 1920s and their older colleagues, right? So in that case, option C and D can be eliminated on the basis of what? Article, comparison and parallelism. Am I clear? So hence the option should be option B. Am I clear? Got the point? Now, you have told about the option C. Option C is eliminated because of the comparison and articles. A barrier to communication. Any barrier. Isn't it? That is there. Question number 2, it should be A. Any other options you chose? B, C, D? A. Yeah. D. Delhi. Very good. So, but could you think that the first statement and option B, what does it say? The European state that could only claim, this is not logical, right? That could only claim. was what? Only claimed the world power status in 1900 was Britain. Now, did you understand that here you could say that the only European state could be called as England? Isn't it? Not like the European states only claim was England or Britain. Agree? Because your point is what the state, who is that state or what is that state? Britain or England? Isn't it? And the Britain was the only state that claimed something in the world. Right? Not like you start with the European state that only could claim the world power status in 1900 was Britain. So this makes us illogical. Right? So anyone option C and D? No. You also find out other errors that's called as the first. Right? It is stated that which had first established itself as the world's industrial nation and whose empire covered part of the habitable globe. Right. So that is something called as a understatement or called as a disrupting statement. It could be what? A quarter of the habitable globe. Right. Option B में error क्या है? Article A is missing. Right. So the correct statement should be the only European state that could claim the world power status in 1900 was Britain. तो इसका मतलब पूरा clear है कि only state claimed the world power status. What is that? Britain. Right. Which had established itself as the world's first industrial nation and whose empire covered a quarter of the habitable globe. Isn't it? Option A would be the correct answer. Option B, C, D में error क्या है? There's something called as the word called as a first, second is article, third is called as a improper usage of the or misplaced modifier, the word only, which is doesn't fit in the answer. Okay. Now moving to the question number 3, it would be B. Option B. C. Option B, C, D. Okay. Anyone else? You have to say no. Don't take it lightly. See, you need to make yourself sure on it. Okay. Observe that. C. How many of you go for the option A? 2. Option B. 1, 2, 3. Option C. 1 and 2. 3. Option 4. Okay. Let's. This one is a little bit like so let's see that it is stated, I know that few people are over by the written word than the spoken word. Now, don't you think that it is a kind of a comparative one, right? That is missing in option A because you said few, right? Whereas that is written. Am I clear? So it should be fewer than. So I know that fewer people are won over by the written word than the spoken word. Now where is the comparison? Few should be here fewer. Right or not? So in that case, and that every great movement, right, than the spoken word. Even another error is also there, than by the spoken word, because to maintain the parallelism. One is called in option A, 2 errors you can find out. The first one is called as a fewer than. Second one is called as a, you said what? Own over by the written word than by the spoken word. Own over by the spoken word than by the written word. Isn't it? So by the preposition is missing. नहीं ऑप्शन ए में मैं बोल रहा हूँ ऑप्शन ए को देखो बेटा option पहले first thing is called as identify the error. The first error is called as a comparative, right? Second error is called as a parallelism because the comparison is what? By the spoken word, by the written word, right? Where is the bar? In the latter part, isn't it? That one is missing in even in option question number B, option B. You also find out that by is missing. China, isn't it? So between India, between and, दोनों में parallelism हुआ कि नहीं? That's called as a noun, right or not? So he not only looks at, he looks not only at my or knock at my door, but also at my window. Isn't it not called as a parallelism? Right or not? So that's maintain the parallelism, and we need to focus on that parallelism too. Right. So option A and option B are eliminated. So B may be आपका by and few नहीं है. Now the thing is that no, not like that. You need to also logically find out, no. So few Dan लिखा गया, it should be few. How come it did not come to your mind?
Fewer. Yes, sir. People fewer than. But I couldn't see them by.
Could not see. It means active reading is necessary. Right. So, and that is what you found out that students do wrong in exams, because they could not find out why. Right. I give you a kind of an example that last time somebody asked me who gave the CNAT exam. Right. Who gave the CNAT exam? Listen to it. So he made the question, or he sent me the question. So this is the question. Right. That was that came in the exam, and I gave the answer that is called as adjective and noun. What is the question? The question is called as identify the word which is underlined in the sentence. What kind of parts of speech it is, right? Or how it is used in the sentence. See, Nanka, this is Salka, then Zaya. Right. So the sentence was what? He was puzzled by the kind of a question, right, that makes him puzzled. Right. So, puzzle. Right. So here two puzzles are there. Puzzled and puzzles. Now, what is the answer that we could have here? The answers are like what? Adjective noun, verb noun. Right. Adjective noun, verb noun, noun, or called as adverb noun. You get the answer adjective noun. So do you think that it could be adjective noun? Then what it could be? It is a verb. So he got confused and he wrote his adjective. It's simple parts of speech. Right. Fine, no issue. CNAT exam. Right. It means you need to identify the parts of speech properly. Coming to the next question, question number 4. C. Very good. C. Question. I'll just tell you the answers, and after that you will give me the answer. With the doubts if you have. Question number 5. No way. How come D? Because if you observe that in D, it is stated biodiesel is an ecological, sustainable transport fuel produced from vegetable oils, either directly from crops such as sunflower, soybean, or from recycled vegetable oil. So, but don't you think that it should be written as either directly from vegetable oils, from crops such as sunflower, soybean, or from recycled vegetable oil? Because either is used directly from where? I'm trying to make you understand on the statement. Biodiesel is an ecological sustainable transport fuel fine produced, right? Produced from where? Either directly from vegetable oils, right or not? Either directly from vegetable oils, from crops such as sunflower, soybean, or means from recycled vegetable oils. Because here you are talking about from two ways, like what means that ecological sustainable transport fuel producer.
This is if we want to vegetable oil and recycled.
Now, in that case, if you are using either, right, either directly from what? Crops such as sunflower, it means you are giving example, right or not? The idea should be what? Either directly from crops such as sunflower, soybean, or from recycled vegetable oil, right? Now, in that case, recycled vegetable oils and another one is called as what is that?
Vegetable oils are
Vegetable oils, isn't it? Two things, vegetable oils and another one is recycled.
No, vegetable oil is direct.
दोनों में से एक बोलो, बोलो.
मतलब एक vegetable oil जो directly plant से लिया जा रहा है या फिर recycled वाला that is what it is.
हाँ, तो आपको either and or use करना है, either और कहाँ पे use करना है? If you are saying it is directly from crops such as sunflower, soybean, then after you need to say that or directly from recycled vegetables because either के पास क्या use हुआ है? Adverb. But the misplaced modifier. Looking to the adverb. If it is used either के पास अगर adverb use हुआ है और के पास क्या use होना चाहिए? Adverb use होना चाहिए ना?
सर ये बोल रहा है either directly from यहाँ से लो from
Either directly from vegetable oils,
from repeat
from crops such as sunflower vegetable oils, from crops such as sunflower soybean or from recycled vegetable.
बट अगर वहाँ पे अगर वो पूछता from का बार यूज नहीं करना from vegetable oils such as sunflower soybean और ये then it made much better sense क्योंकि यहाँ पे from vegetable oil from crops such as बार आता है whether it be it's produced from vegetable oils either directly or indirectly.
No, I am not talking about the meaning of the sentence. I am talking about the usage of the words.
That's what I'm saying.
No, means I am talking about if I talk about the sentence, how I supposed to make it.
एक ऐसे ही है.
मैंने आपको adverb last to last class पढ़ाया था. ठीक है. So what did I tell you in that adverb? What did I tell? I told you about that in adverbs. What did I tell you? I told you adverbs are nothing but modifiers. And what is the uses of that modifiers? They generally use in the position in the sentence. Right? I told you about adverb of frequency, adverb of manner, adverb of place, adverb of time, adverb of degrees, and their uses in the sentence. Didn't I? Right? Now, the thing is that when I am talking about this particular sentence, so what I find out, biodiesel is an ecological sustainable transport fuel. Okay? Now, you are giving a question produced. Now, produced from where? Right? So, either from vegetable oils, now you have already used the term called as vegetable oils to produce हो रहा है. Then second one is what? Or from then recycled vegetable oils. Am I clear? Now, this is called as a true choice. Got my point? And if I observe in option C, what option C says? Option C doesn't talk about the choice. It is stated directly that transport fuel produced from vegetable oils.
Not option C.
No, in option D also. In option D में क्या दिया है? So ecological sustainable transport fuel produced from vegetable oils. Don't you think that it directly stated to that biodiesel is transport fuel produced from the vegetable oils? It does not give you the option. Does it give you option? सिर्फ vegetable oils कहाँ पे? Means यहाँ पे पूरा दिया गया है vegetable oils produced from vegetable oils से biodiesel जो
लिखना है कि दोनों जैसे
no you have two choices no
one is the vegetable oil anyways directly or indirectly.
but then why did you give the first thing is called as I will say that I choose you right उसके बाद मैं I choose you उसके बाद मैं either means मोहन और सस्मिता ये बोल सकता हूँ क्या so what kind of oils?
Either immediately or recycled.
Okay, I understood that. You mean to say vegetable oils? उसके बाद you give the example, and in example you are pointing that either so A, B, C or from means vegetable, recycled
Because best way for that.
recycled vegetables, isn't it? Now, don't you think that you are making two types of vegetable here? Vegetables, so one is a vegetable and another one is a recycled vegetables. One is called as vegetable oil, another is called as recycled vegetable oil. These are the two choices. Now, in vegetable choice, you have certain example. In recycled vegetable, you have also some examples, isn't it? But you have pointed what? You have pointed that means produced from vegetable oils, and then after you give example, there you are using either A, B, C or recycled vegetables, which is improper, illogical.
So example was
नहीं,
directly मतलब
either or only use we. Where do we use either or? We use either or when you talk about choice. Let's say that you can see either here or there, right? You have two choices, right? Similar to that, when we talk about what bioteacher, right? It is means what? It is produced either directly from vegetable oils. Now you point out that directly from vegetable oils, or you are talking about what? Second option is called as recycled vegetable oils, right? Now, under the vegetable oils, how would you draw that recycled vegetable oils? Under the vegetable oils, how would you draw that recycled vegetable oils? Try to understand that. हाँ, क्योंकि because you are making a general statement. Bioteacher is and no. He is what? It is indicating that means you are talking about like you are or he is my best friend. He is my best friend. Now when you say he is my best friend, what do you mean by that? At present he is my best friend and he has done all my means home tasks. Isn't it? क्योंकि present में ही तो सब कुछ हो रहा है. What my point? Answer is. No, it's not mandatory whether answer is A and B. You must understand the logic behind it. So answer means रट्टा मारने से exam में कोई question नहीं आएगा. You need to understand the logic behind it, how it is done, right? So look into it. When we are talking about alphabet and numeric, it means two different things, right? In alphabetical, you find out A, B, C, D, E, F. But in numeric, you more mix that A, B, C, D, right? So in that case, you need to say that either alphabet or numeric, right? So similar to that, either vegetable oils or none means recycled vegetable oils. Under the vegetable oils, you find out such as so and so. Under the means recycled vegetable oils, you find some.
also tenses
Also look into the tense. In option D, hard is given no last week. Hard already. That is also one of their. How would you use it when you are hard दिया है कि नहीं? तो hard है तो how did you choose that? If the statement is a tense, मैंने आपको कहा भी था कि you need to observe about the tenses, verbs and tenses. And the statement is clearly written by visual is an ecologically. So if it is an ecologically means sustainable transport fuel, तो आपके हिसाब से क्या means आज हुआ कल नहीं होगा.
सर ने वो जो had लिखा है वो vegetable use उसको उसी में लिखा है.
It means what? It is produced from the vegetable source, right? And had produced means from the non-vegetable resources, not at present. So I'll make a note. Right. नहीं खाली तो कोई अभी मैंने कल तो लिखा है ना बायोडिजल वॉल्स.
सर नहीं वो मैं फर्स्ट पार्ट से नहीं कर रहा हूँ.
कैसे नहीं करोगे? ये एक ही sentence to the other sentence.
So I'm not linking because it's the or recycled vegetable oil which has been used for cooking.
Which
That is used to cooking.
so biodiesel is an ecological sustainable. Now it is a present. When you say which is linking to what? The clause given before. The clause is a present. How would you change that in the next part in the past? Right. Okay. Good. No issue, sir.
So correct.
Origin है, but when you write a sentence, how does it form properly? You can directly from vegetable from crop such as अब repetition
Kiss me. Observe. No. Repetition. It maintains the parallelism, no? Because when you are saying that either directly from vegetable oils, okay, from crops, it means you are giving example crops such as sunflower, soybean. क्योंकि आपका जो वेजिटेबल ऑयल्स कहाँ से ड्रॉ हो रहा है? क्रॉप से ना, तो वहाँ पे फ्रॉम नहीं लगेगा. Right. Next one, question number 6. It should be D. Right. इसी से ही तो आपको लॉजिक मिलता है, इसी से ही आपको अंडरस्टैंडिंग आता है.
So why not?
किसमें?
6.
That clause, you can read. Will I use that clause here? Biology involves a historical accident in a way, right, that physics and chemistry do not, right? So, biology involves a historical accident in a way, that physics and chemistry do not. But, right, hardly will anyone. So, what is the rule of hardly uses? Hardly का use क्या होता है? Let me point out. When we use hardly,
Say hardly with your
let me point out. When we use hardly with when, right? Hardly plus auxiliary verb or modal verb, right? Plus subject plus main verb, right? Let's say hardly will or hardly hard or hardly did, right? Then subject is I, right? Then verb is what? Hardly had I taken my dinner, right? Taken, or hardly did I take my dinner, right? So in that case, when the light went out, isn't it? This is the format. When, then after subject plus verb plus object. This is the rule. So when you use hardly, auxiliary verb, subject, main verb, then when. क्योंकि हार्डली अगर शुरू होता है सब्जेक्ट तो when we are सब्जेक्ट से begins that is the reason. So therefore you also find a precursor and error. Agree? And hardly when मैंने आपको conjunction भी समझाया last. Hardly when, whether or, not only but also, right? Fine. Coming to the question number 7. C. No. It should be. Let's see that a high rate of productivity growth allowed continuous transfer of low-skilled labor from rural occupations to industry and services. Don't you think that's after services? Okay, comma is improper because you are using and. So and then and a sufficient right, in real incomes satisfying workers' aspiration. How come? Okay, income satisfying workers' aspiration. But I think it would be a two different situation. Why? A high rate of productivity growth allowed a continuous transfer of low skill labor, right, from rural occupation to industry and services, right. Then after and the sufficient rise in real income satisfying workers' aspiration. So one side you are saying that continuous transfer of low skill labor from rural occupation to industry and services means you are giving a negative statement in the first part, and the second part you are saying a sufficient rise in real income satisfying workers' aspiration. Beginning, the first thing is called that you get a kind of a job that switchable from one place to the other place all the time, right? Beginning, okay, do you getting a kind of a job, marketing job, right? You come home and say that, Mama, I got a very good job where the salary is 1 lakh rupees. But the problem is called as I need. But the problem is called as I need to move from one city to the other city every other day. Every other day. What do you think about? Is it not called as a kind of a negative?
People transfer low skill level to
Level from rural occupation to industry and services. Right. Now this is one of the things.
and we are
Beside that, a sufficient right. Now in that case also, अगर उसी हिसाब से भी देखा जाए, now this is something called as additional information, because you get one and after that you also get another thing. What is that? Switch over from rural occupation to industry and services. Beside that, the sufficient rise in real income satisfying workers' aspiration ये होना चाहिए, beside होना चाहिए. Second, the error is called as after when the kind of idea called as services, you shall not put comma, right? You shall not put comma because and is given, it is a run-on sentence. Continue. Right? Okay, I'm coming to that. Tell me that when you were saying that he is a smart and diligent, right? And after comma, you will put and he walks throughout the day and night. No, the thing is that if you have a better option, why would you take the punctuation error also? I have only one. Now you need to choose that. I pointed the errors. Now your job is to compare it. Compare it. Yeah, remaining. Do you have that? Most probably A is the answer, right? क्योंकि and के साथ तो also लगेगा नहीं option D में तो and also लगेगा नहीं, लगेगा क्या है? Right? That is one of the error. Even if it is a run-on sentence, it cannot add up with the and also, right? So and if you go for the option B, what will you find out? Again and also, did you find? Right? B and D are error because also is used with and also both are nothing but called as the same kind of additional information, right? So and option C carries with a comma improperly, which is nothing but a nonsense. Putting a kind of a comma in a run-on sentence. Do you understand the meaning of run-on sentence? The meaning of run-on sentence is called as when you have a continuous idea. So in between no comma, no semicolon should be used, right? The words like and, the words like also, to, right? When you use, so do you put before that the comma and then after you write to, then after you write also, then why do you use and? You should have used comma if it is a but, if it is a yet, but yet, because it makes a contrast. So therefore the first one is a pause, second one continue, right? Obviously the sentence is a run. Why do you use and? आप खुद ही बताइए logically and हम क्यों use करें? क्योंकि हमारा एक sentence जो idea है वो continue कर रहा है, isn't it? Okay, coming to the next one. Next one is question number D, right? So question number 9.
B for that.
Please guys ask me questions, huh? If you have a doubt. Not like these people are asking and you people stay silent. Question number 9. B. Okay, sorry. No particular noise. None comments. So 9B, right?
C for Congress.
10C. Please. So please do ask me doubt. Question number 11.
Some of the people you see that
B.
No,
Option D.
11.
11.
is
Okay, I'll discuss that. If you have a doubt, we will discuss. No. D. Question number 12. Very good. Option D.
Yes.
13.
8.
13.
Yeah, that's 13 A.
No, sir, D.
13 A. कौन सा वाला आपने कहा?
मैं बोल रहा D.
D. Look at the word called as a being as being a compassionate and great writer. Great human being as being a compassionate and great writer. So question number 14. D. There. Question number 15. Huh? 15. C. Okay, till 15 मैंने आपको कहा अभी you can ask me
Sir,
any
what
other.
is 15?
C.
Sir, 13 वाला का.
Okay. Any other question?
Sir, 11 वाला का.
11. Okay. Then make him understand. Which option you chose first? Option?
D is the right
B is the answer. What is your answer? Option A. Look into that. One of the great achievements of modern times, right, is a liberal consumption of humanity. Fine. Semicolon or sorry colon. Then after the view that. Then the view that there are universal and inalienable human rights.
So, sir, inavailable, unavailable.
Inalienable human rights, right? In terms of क्या? Not somebody who is not isolated, alienable, inalienable, not alienable, isolated, right? Human rights and human rights and you can say that human rights and power, right? Because when powers of region, okay, powers of region can honor these rights and eradicate poverty and social distress.
So in this one and that.
Okay, A and that's
No,
power.
no, sir, that, those executions.
Inalienable human rights and powers. Now tell me that if I talk about the kind of a thing, here you are not comparing, right? Here you are talking about subject. The subject, if I say the poet and philosopher, the poet and philosopher. Do I need to write the poet and the philosopher? Why? Because we are using one, the person who is a poet. He is also a philosopher. Now when you are referring that what? Human rights, you are also saying human powers.
How do you know which part of that?
Because it is means it is you joining with and no. What does it say? It refers to now
Human rights and power.
So what does it
power
say?
that reason can honor these human rights.
Now you are saying in the first part inalienable human rights. Inalienable human rights means something which is unknown human rights and unknown human powers. Got my point? So rights and powers both are different, but both belong to whom? Inalienable human. Isn't it? Am I clear? So like I say, the poet and philosopher, right?
So inalienable human
Rights.
is a complete.
Complete noun phrase. What kind of a human rights? Inalienable human rights. Now only human rights को inalienable human rights नहीं है. तो human का जो powers भी है, वो भी unknown है, right? So inalienable human parts, because rights and parts both are belonging to human being, no? है कि नहीं? आपका अधिकार and आपका ability, है कि नहीं? किसका? आपका मतलब human being. किस टाइप का human being? Now here you find out inalienable human rights and inalienable human parts, right? So let's say that the great author and
So the sentence will directly honor these rights.
okay, let me point out in adjective.
Example.
In adjective, I thought you also one of the sentence there that you most come across, and it's called as this city is the most crowded, and what the most intelligent people. Now in that case, what do you use? You say that this class belongs to the most and the best. The most and best, the best people, isn't it? Now what did you do? You use what? People, referring to most and best. आपने use किया कि नहीं? Most and best. So which are called as a superlative form, similar to the inalienable human rights and inalienable human parts. क्योंकि parts किसको refer करेगा? अगर आप those parts लिखोगे, then those parts किसको point out करेगा? किसको point out करेगा?
सर अगर कॉन्टेक्स्ट एकदम अलग होगा तो हम दैट लगा सकते हैं।
हाँ, context अलग मतलब किस हिसाब से? जब आप comparison करते हैं,
तो दैट लगा।
हाँ, क्योंकि this house is better than that of A, B, C, isn't it? Or those of A, B, C, isn't it? क्यों use की? Because your comparison is the houses of this.
Sir, B is a recognition of inalienable human rights and powers of reasons and objectives, right?
So B is wrong. Then it is stated what? One of the great achievements of modern times is the liberal conception of humanity, the view that there are universal and inalienable human rights and powers of region. Right or not? Now what you have pointed? You have pointed the three things: universal and
But sir, any power though is not associated with inalienable human rights, powers of reason.
it is stated parts of region. Now what is the idea that you derive from the different the whole sentence, whole statement? Right? You find out that the first option, right? Your option is option A, right? So in option A and option D, what do you find out? Human rights and that powers. Now instead of saying parts of region, right? You are saying that parts of region, right? So that parts means that refer to something, no? क्यों? And second is called as and जब हम use करते हैं तो हम क्या करते हैं? Means point out करते हैं कि हमने A भी खरीदा, B भी खरीदा and C भी खरीदा, ना कि that C भी.
Only if your question C previously B is also.
And we are not talking about comparative. ठीक है? Coming to the next another question, please. No.
Spelling में most competitors spelling to be secretive है। वो
Most
competitors tend to be secretive।
then most competitor.
Sorry, competitors।
Competitor. I got like the wrong question or not? Yeah, go ahead.
तो वो कौन से फॉर्म में है मतलब टेक्स्ट का?
Most company present नहीं है, टेन लिख रहा है ना, right? So हाँ, simple present. अगर वहाँ भी आपका डाउट होता है ना, right? Most companies tend to be secretive and fear that competitors would steal their secrets. Therefore, they avoid people देखो. Avoid is a present tense, no? If it is a past, it should be avoided. Would is a desire. Will is a future. Isn't it? So would still मतलब desire है कि चोरी करना, लेकिन will still मतलब future में वो चोरी करेगा. दोनों में difference हुआ कि नहीं? Right? Okay. Any other question? Question number 15. What is there in the 15 number question? Yes.
सर सी कैसे होगा 15 में? कार्बन क्रेडिट्स लिया। कार्बन क्रेडिट्स लिया। कार्बन क्रेडिट।
Okay. Let's see that. Which option you chose?
D को गलत है, D में
D. You understood D is wrong, right? Okay. So and what I pointed is a C, right? Okay. Look into the option D. Amidst the growing concern, right? Which is again called as amidst the group or growing, amidst the growing concern and the increase in awareness of the need for pollution control. Now, when you use and, right, you are making that 2 points. What is that? Growing concern and the increase in awareness, isn't it? So the growing concern and the increase both are creating the kind of a contrast that two different objects are there, isn't it? Like I said, if I talk about the poet and the philosopher, so the poet is another one person and the philosopher is another person, isn't it? So it makes a kind of a error here. Both of एक चीज है. दूसरा क्या चीज क्या है? Now you talk about amidst the growing concern and the increase in awareness of the need for pollution control, right? Correct comma should be there. The concept of what? Carbon credit. The concept of carbon credit. So credit and credits. Observe that. Singular plural. Agree. The carbon credits came into vogue as part of an international agreement. You need to use the as the part. Now, what is the part of an international agreement? Carbon credits, isn't it? So you need to use article the before it, don't you? So that is what also. Now, in that case also, as part of an international agreement, known popularly as the Kyoto Protocol. Okay, it seems like what the is indicating the part of an international agreement. Now, what becomes the part of an international agreement? The concept of carbon credits. It is already used there, and as well as it is compared. Concept of carbon credits came into vogue as part of an international agreement. Okay, any other question out of that? 1 to 15? Don't worry. The only problem is what? That some of the rules you maybe evaporated. Right? Otherwise, the thing is that evaporated, and that's something new. Like I told you, vocabulary and grammar rules. Right? As long as you are using it, practicing it, they always use it. Else they will be evaporated. Isn't it? Fine. How much time we left? Half an hour. Shall we do 5 question of the second part and third part? Right. So that we'll get the kind of interest of it. Question number 16. आपने आंसर क्या दिया? अभी क्या है? चलिए, go for the next. No, only 5 question you do from the second and third question. He said it in such a way. All the work will do. 21 to 25. Then 41 to 45. Then 61 to 62. 15 questions, you have 15 minutes. Make it quicker. On the movie down. चलो am I clear? समझ में आ रहा है? Good. Okay. 15 questions you need to know and 15 minutes you have. Why you are not matching with the time? Like 5 minutes, मतलब 5 minutes ही आपको follow करना है. Why don't you do that? मतलब 15 minutes. 40 minutes पर दूँगा.
सिटी पर 40 minutes की बात.